It's Eleanor here once again, and it's another exciting episode. We are still on the Stronghold of the Mind series, and we are getting into the episode 2, which is defending your mind, strategies for overcoming negative thoughts, emotions, and mental attacks. So, today we're going to be talking about one of the most important battles that you will ever have to face in your life, which is the battle of the mind. In this world where negative thoughts, emotions, mental attacks can easily creep in and hold you back, it is more important than ever before for you to learn how to defend your mind and build a stronghold of mental resilience. There are many of us that a single negative thought can just affect our whole day, affect our thoughts, affect the way we think, affect the way we function. So it is very important that we learn how to build a very strong mind so that when those external attacks, internal attacks come, we'll be able to know how to overcome them. So we're going to be exploring strategies and techniques that you need to overcome these negative thoughts and emotions. How you can break through common mental barriers, how you can build a very strong and resilient mind. Whether you're struggling with anxiety, you're struggling with self-doubt, you're struggling with depression, or simply you just want to build your mind, you just want to learn more about how to have a very good mental well-being, this episode is for you. And me, as I explore how you can defend your mind and strategies you can actually use to overcome these negative thoughts as they come. People might be like, what do you mean by mental attack? But it is the reality that every single one of us on this planet face. They can manifest as negative thoughts, they can manifest as anxiety, they can manifest as fear, they can manifest as depression, drawn from the society, social anxiety. In short, mental attack is a very broad topic, but it's something that I've been able to compress for us in this segment so that we'll get a better knowledge of it. Mental attacks, they can come from within, they can be fueled by our thoughts, by emotions. They can also come from external sources such as toxic people, toxic environment. Imagine that you're trying to build a good life for yourself, you're trying to work on your career, but your mind keeps attacking you every single time. It's not something that you can overlook, it's something that you actually need to work on. That's what a mental attack can feel like. You know, your life is so put together and suddenly everything just begins to crumble and you don't know exactly where it is coming from. Sometimes the enemy that comes to attack us doesn't come in form of spiritual attack or even through people. It might come from within us. That is why we have to pay attention to our thoughts and our emotions, because all these mental attacks in their form will make you doubt who you are, will make you doubt your decisions, will make you feel like, have I been a fool for making some decisions in my life? They'll make you question your abilities, they'll make you question how far you have come, they'll make you doubt yourself. So you have to be intentional when it comes to your mind and how you control your thoughts. So now, how do you recognize these mental attacks? In what form do they come? How do you know that, okay, it's like I'm under attack? Sometimes that mental attacks don't come in form of a violent or in a strong form. We might not quickly notice. Mental attacks, they have different ways of manifesting. It's not every single one of them that is going to come in a very violent form that you will quickly recognize. Some come subtly. So the first thing that I would say is that negative self-talk. You know, that inner voice that says that you're not good enough, that inner voice that says that you will never succeed or you will never move forward. As simple as it is, saying negative things to yourself or thinking negative things about yourself, something that can give you a very strong mental attack. It's what you believe that you become. Once you have this belief that you will never succeed, you will never be good enough, then you will never be good enough. So you have to be observant of when those negative thoughts come into your mind. Find a way to silence that inner voice that is telling you that you are not good enough or you will never succeed or you will never measure up or you will never move forward or you will never progress in life. you have to be the one to counter it. So that's the first signal that will let you know that you're under a mental attack. There will be a negative self-talk. Another thing that I would say is that self-doubt, uncertainty about your decisions, uncertainty about your future, uncertainty about your abilities. You begin to doubt yourself that I'm not sure I can do this, I'm not sure I can achieve this, I'm not sure I can actually build a life for myself. Once those thoughts start coming, then obviously you know that this is an attack and you need to work on it. Another thing is anxiety. When you see that you're always over the edge, you're not relaxed, you're always anxious, you're always feeling like you need to do this, you need to do that. Instead of you being calm and being in the moment, you notice that you're always anxious, you're always feeling overwhelmed, you're always fearful, you're always like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to make sure that my life is put together. Once you notice that you have this constant anxiety, obviously your mind is under attack. Another thing that I would say is that fear. Letting fear hold you back. I'm not sure that I can do this. Then you decide to wallow in fear. Probably there's the next promotion in your place of work, or there's a new step of career that you need to take. But because of this fear that what if I fail? What if this happens? What if that happens? The truth is, life is all about risk. Life beautiful is the fact that we know the risk and yet we are still willing to take that risk to get a better future and a better life for ourselves. You notice that you're being fearful and the fear is kind of overwhelming. Naturally, every single one of us, we actually feel fear inside of us. But once the fear is getting too much to the point that it is silencing your inner strength, it is silencing that part of who you are that makes you resilient, that makes you strong, obviously you know that you need to pay attention to that fear. Another thing is depression, feeling constant and persistent sadness. Things that used to interest you before no longer interest you. Obviously, you know that it's a sign of depression. And things, activities that you enjoy, people that you love to talk to, you just suddenly feel withdrawn from them. This mental attack, they can be very subtle, but they have a very significant impact on our mental health. I've talked about negative self-talk, self-doubt, anxiety, fear, depression. These are just some of the signs so that you can know that, okay, obviously there is something wrong somewhere, then how do I overcome it? So like I said the other time, these mental attacks can be very subtle, but they have a very significant impact on our mental health. So now let's get right into the reflection time. Now, have you ever experienced any of these attacks that I mentioned before? Have you ever been at a point in your life where you feel like I'm not good enough, I'm never gonna get there? If you have actually had those thoughts, then obviously you know that there is something that is wrong with your mind one way or the other, and there is an attack. And I want you to reflect on it, and how did you overcome these voices? How did you overcome this self-doubt? How did you push ahead despite the fact that there is a voice inside of you that is telling you that you are not good enough? How did you overcome it? The truth is, you will always have this inner voice in your mind telling you you're not good enough. That is how the enemy works. If the devil doesn't come in form of a horn, it comes in various ways, especially our mind, because our mind is our powerhouse. It is what channels everything. It is what is connected to your belief, your faith. I'm going to be getting into this segment 2, which is when we notice that we are under mental attack and our thoughts become distorted, our emotions are overwhelming, we feel like I'm not good enough, I'm not sure I can overcome these negative thoughts, and we try to withdraw ourselves from people, the environment. How can we overcome this? What are the strategies that we can actually use to counter this mental attack step by step? The step 1 that I would say is mindfulness. Mindfulness means that present in the moment without any judgment. It helps us to become more aware of our thoughts and our emotions and how we can respond to them in a more thoughtful way. What I mean is, let's say in a particular moment you're feeling like, okay, I'm not good enough, I cannot measure up, and this thought keep coming into your mind. Then you are aware of it. Okay, why am I having this thought? What exactly is the root cause of this? Is it because I'm trying to write this exam? Is it because I'm trying to apply for this promotion? What exactly is the underlying factor? What is fueling these thoughts that I am not good enough? So you are mindful of the thoughts that you are having. You are present at the moment. You are aware that this thought is in your mind and it is affecting you. That is the first step in you working on strengthening your mind. The second thing that I will say is that emotional labeling. This means recognizing and labeling our emotions to help us process them better and manage them effectively. Let's take for example, you're preparing for an exam and you're having this fear that what if I fail? What if I do not do well in this exam? Now you are aware of it that okay, this is what um I think is my lack of preparation that is causing me to have these thoughts. I think okay, maybe I'm not reading as much as I should. Try to recognize these emotions you're feeling and process it. Why am I having fear of this exam? Is it because I'm not exactly sure where the question is coming from? Because I'm not reading enough materials on it? So you have to recognize your emotions so that you'll be able to manage it effectively. Is it fear? Is it anxiety? What exactly am I feeling as at that particular moment concerning this exam that I want to write? Another thing that I will say is that cognitive behavioral therapy can also help. you know it helps us identify negative thought patterns, and help us to and replaces them with a balanced and realistic one. What I mean is, let's take for example, for somebody that you want to apply for a promotion and at your place of work, which is going to require you probably writing an exam for it, and you having this mind that okay, I don't think I'm good enough. I think this other person that is my competitor is more intelligent than me, he has more experience than me. And now, how can you challenge that thought? By telling yourself that okay, I may not have enough experience as this person, but I will work hard. I will make sure that I get enough materials to actually prepare for this exam, so that at least I know that I tried my best. See how those thoughts were actually replaced by realistic ones. Those negative thought patterns are replaced with a realistic and balanced one. Believe me, those thoughts will disappear from your mind completely. I want us to take a quick exercise. I hope you'll try them with me. First of all, take a deep breath. Breathe in and out. Notice your thoughts. Don't try to change them. Just try to observe what exactly you're feeling as at this particular time. Notice the way your body feels, the way it relaxes. Now, for me, practicing this little exercise, I realized that I'm a little anxious because I'm telling myself that how can I pass this message of this stronghold of the mind series in a way that can help my audience. So this thought is actually coming into my mind and it's making me a little bit anxious. Can you see how being calm and trying this quick exercise made me realize that I'm actually anxious? So that is the power of mindfulness and all these exercises that we do. As you practice this mindfulness, you will notice that your thoughts will start to slow down. You'll feel more calm and centered. The way you talk, the way you articulate yourself, the way you process yourself will be different. It's just one of the strategies that I know that can actually help you manage these negative thoughts when they come. Another strategy that I will say that you can actually use is the question strategy. I always use this one a lot. Anytime I have a negative thought or something just comes to my mind that is not in alignment, I ask myself that is this thought actually true? Is there another way to look at this situation? What evidence do I have for this thought? By challenging these negative thoughts and practicing mindfulness, you'll be able to shift your perspective and you'll feel more in control of your emotions and tell yourself that, okay, what are the negative thoughts that I've been struggling with lately? What exactly is the root cause of it? How can I find solution? That is how you counter these negative thoughts. So I want you to take a moment and just um, try and write down some of the negative thoughts you've been having lately, and then try to see them in another perspective. Feeling anxious about the future, I don't know exactly how I'm going to meet up with the timeline. I know you are in competition. You're telling yourself that okay, my mates are moving forward. Why am I stagnant? Now, if you look at it from another perspective, it will be like everybody has their own timetable, and I'm following the timetable of my life. The fact that I am not where I want to be doesn't mean I will not get there. It doesn't mean I'm not moving forward. Can you see the way perspective is changing? So when you are aware of your thoughts, you'll be able to shift your perspective in a very refined way. Your mind will be more put together. This is just the beginning of you managing your thoughts and emotions, but with practice you can actually develop these skills and you can overcome all these mental attacks. Believe me, don't take these exercises that I gave you as something small. Get a journal for it and try to work on it. Don't just let thoughts roam around in your mind freely. Try to be aware of them and then find a way to reframe them in a positive way and shift your perspective. How exactly do they happen? What exactly causes it? What are the things that can be factors that contribute to us having these mental attacks? The first thing that I would say is that negative self-talk. There are many of us that we say negative things to ourselves, like you are not good enough, you're never going to measure up, causing us to doubt ourselves. Negative thoughts, they are highly destructive and they can actually hinder your progress. Another thing that I would say is that having unrealistic expectations. There are many of us that we set so much, the standard that we set ourselves is so high that, I mean, if another person should actually hear, the person will be like, are you kidding me? So many of us set high standards for ourselves and then we feel inadequate, we feel like we're not good enough anytime we don't measure up to that standard. You are human. Limit to what you can do. Don't set too much high standard for yourself and then you end up in disappointment. Set realistic expectations, not unrealistic ones. Another thing that I would say is that comparison, focusing on others makes us feel inferior. It makes us feel like we are not good enough. And once you start comparing yourself to others, believe me, your mind is under attack, and immediately your emotions will follow. Immediately your behavior will follow. Immediately people, it will be obvious to people that there is something wrong with this person. So you have to try as much as possible not to compare yourself with others. Another thing is that dwelling on past mistakes. There are many of us that we have so much baggages in our past, so much trauma, and dwelling in it is not going to solve the problem. Trying to wallow in the feeling is not going to solve the problem. So you have to be able to find a way not to dwell on your past mistakes. It has happened, it has happened. But without you going through those processes, and without the past, the future can never be bright. Some of the things that we go through in the past are the things that makes us stronger. So look at your past from another perspective. Another thing that I would say is that lack of self-care. There are many of us that we are so used to taking care of others, being there for others while we are dying inside. So you have to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, mentally. Be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, take it easy on yourself. You are human, you're not a robot, you're not God, and you cannot predict the future, but the one that you can control is the present. So stay in the moment. Another thing is that toxic relationship. When you surround yourself with toxic people, there's no how you not doubt yourself. There's no how you not feel less about who you are. So try as much as possible to stay away from toxic people, whether deliberately. Just be intentional about the people that is in your circle. Surround yourself with positive people, people that will motivate you. Another thing is that avoidance. There are many of us that we avoid our problems. When we are going through a traumatic experience, we try to deny what we are going through. We try to deny the reality. We try to picture this unrealistic world like everything is perfect. Don't try to avoid your problems, because these emotions are bottled up inside, and one way or the other they will still come out. So try and face your problems head on and try and look for solutions. So once you do all these things, at least it will minimize the level of mental attacks that you have. So I'm going to give us 7 practical steps that you can actually use to overcome this. I've given us strategies before, but I just want to make it more put together so that we will get the best of this episode. The first thing that I will say in these practical steps is number one, practice self-awareness, being aware of your thoughts and emotions at a particular time. Another thing is challenging negative thoughts. Challenge your negative thoughts, like I said the other time. Once they come, challenge them, question them, and then give evidence that this thing is not actually true, by reminiscing on all the good things that has happened in your life. Another thing is that develop a growth mindset. Have this mentality that you are still growing, you're still working on yourself. There's still plenty of time for you to achieve so many things in your life, so don't be anxious. Another thing is that prioritize self-care. Work on your health, eat healthy, sleep healthy. Don't just go through life trying to please other people. Be in the moment. Another thing is that build a support network. Surround yourself with positive people, uplifting people, people that will encourage you. And then reframe failure and mistakes. Try to see your failures from another perspective. Don't see it as an opportunity to bring yourself down. Don't see it as an opportunity to limit yourself. There is so much inside of you that the world is here to see. There is so much potential, so don't give up on yourself. Keep working on yourself. So like I said, these 7 practical steps are: practice self-awareness, challenge negative thought, develop a growth mindset, prioritize self-care, build a support network, practice mindfulness, and reframe your failures and your mistakes. So if you can practice all these 7 steps, it will minimize it. I'm not saying that it will not happen. I'm not saying that you will quickly overcome it at a speedy rate, but at least it will minimize the level of mental attack that you have in your life. So I think that's about all I have for us in today's episode. That practice on being mindful, practice on working on these negative thoughts anytime they come into your mind, and try to work on the steps that I gave you, the strategies, however you can do it. Just pay attention to your mind. I'm promising you that you will see a difference. I'm promising you that you will see how effective you'll be in your life. You'll be so much confident in yourself. So please, let's try and work on all these things. Let's not just let thoughts just bring us down. Let's not just let this mental attack bring us down and affect what we've spent so much of our life trying to build. Able to learn from today's episode. I love you guys so much, and I believe that your mind is so precious. That is why the enemy is attacking it. So you have to be the one to stand up and say, I will not let the enemy affect my mind. I'll be mindful, I'll be self-aware, and I'll try to reframe those negative thoughts and put them in a positive light and shift my perspective. So I love you guys so much. I celebrate you. I will see you in another episode of Connect with Eleanor. Until then, I remain your humble host, Eleanor. I love you guys. I celebrate you. Bye.